I made this video about this minecart station in hopes that I could use it when the Minecart Max Speed game roll was released, and it's really cool, but I'm not building it because it sucks. In its current state, the station is just too expensive, and it's not the mechanism I'm worried about because I've been able to make the mechanism smaller. It's the tracks themselves where the most cost is incurred, because not only do we need this station to interact with 15 stations, but also red station needs to interact with cyan and magenta with lime, so he ends up getting something like 16 stations times 15 lines per station, which just ends up being a huge number of total tracks to deal with when this is what 3 stations look like. And while it would be cool to have a bajillion rails, a system like this with an extra outer line is much more feasible. So the goal becomes to give stations the ability to use the same network. Spoiler alert, I'm not very intelligent, and lucky for me, this guy PinPal saved me from having to think critically. They say, not to take away from the video, but if anybody is looking to build something similar, look into encoded piston bolt networks. Some very smart people have figured out how to encode a network such that you can go to any station from any station through some signal strength math. These designs can of course be easily changed to use the minecart speed game rule instead of a piston bolt. This guy's name is probably actually Pinepull, right? Not PinPal. Anyway, so I checked out this video from Kaizen, and while I don't understand most of the piston bolt stuff, the encoding bit seems super straightforward. The encoding bit being just a line of comparators where we can say, take me to station 1, please, and it'll take me to station 1. Or take me to station 7, please, and it'll take us to station 7. Now here's where I start to think I'm missing some crucial Pinepull wisdom, because you would think that I could just hook this straight up to the train station, but hold on. But why? Why not? Oh yeah. The reason we can't is because this system is actually relatively slow. Like, this is fast, but if we end up using the minecart max speed game rule and we get our minecarts up to 100 blocks per second, the comparators can't get that fast. To showcase this, I've got this comparator line here with this boat, and we're actually going to end up reaching the end before the comparators do. That causes an issue because if we're traveling on that minecart, getting way beyond 40 blocks per second, this signal is going to get left but out in render distance. It's not going to stay with us, which means that we're never going to get to the station that we're trying to go to. So this comparator line method limits us to 40 blocks per second. We could use a faster system like this, and it is faster, but we run into the same problem as before, where now we have to build one of these for every station. But I think I found a way, not a very reliable way, not a very smart way, but a way that personally I think that I can achieve, and that is pretty neat, and is the one that I already built, so we're going with it. The general concept is you have a minecart, and you're in this minecart, and it goes down, and it spawns a chest minecart that has a keycard item, and we detect if this keycard says keep going or exit, and yeah, that's it. We're gonna go build that. I already built it. The first design is far from perfect, but it has all the major components that are used in later designs. That being that it allows for a chest followed by a chest minecart to enter the system. The chest minecart gets unloaded, the keycard item checked, and a signal sent to tell the track which way to send the player. The player then runs over this rail, which places a new chest minecart, filling with the new keycard item and being sent along to the next section of track. I'm going to skip over both designs 2 and designs 3 because there's just too many flaws. I'm never going to go back to them. I probably don't even remember how they work. The fourth design is the first version that I feel is a complete design. Like, there's no random wiring. How it works is it takes an item sorter that can be up to 15 long, probably more. Yeah, it can probably be really, really long, actually. I think there just might come some issue with the reset. Yeah, with the reset. Because if all these resets are right next to each other, there would be a line somewhere where the reset wouldn't be able to get hit because there would need to be a repeater underneath. So it would probably be like 15 blank, 15 blank, 15 if you're going like 45 stations. Anyway, it works, but it was kind of big, so I improved upon it. Mark V has 2 flaws left, I think. So when the minecart comes back around, it's dropping its keycard, it's checking. Click. There's a click. So the item just got sent. It's reloaded, comes through. That rail switched very fast from powered to unpowered, which is an issue because there's a chance that the minecart could be a little bit too slow. And we want that to be standardized so that we don't run into issues where the chest minecart gets left behind. We don't want issues like that. That's stupid. This is the first design that I built that I know for certain works with the high-speed minecarts. And I ran into some pretty interesting problems when designing it. The chest minecart, for example, sometimes likes to run into the player minecart when they're going around corners. I made sure to release the chest minecart a lot later than the player minecart, and after doing that, I've had very few of those issues. But I do still have a flaw where only one player can use the system at a time. Player comes through, the track switches, the cart goes and gets sorted. This track will not allow a new player in until that light comes back on. So there is about a 7-second period where if a second player comes in, they will get shot into a cactus, and that's not great. But I'm not going to really worry about that. I'm not going to fix it because I don't think that traffic is going to be that high. At least, I hope not. I hope that's not a huge oversight. I had this idea for a minigame, but I got bored, so someone else take the concept and build it for me. Like it resets and whatnot. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Thanks. There are still some checklist items that I need to sort out before I can build the rail network on a server for real. Number one being, what are we sorting? Wool, paper, or something else? What I mean by this is, what should the keycard item that we give the sorters be? We could do paper, and players could rename a piece of paper to whatever station that they would want to go to. The downside here is that I need to have sugarcane and iron at every station in case an anvil breaks. Alternatively, wool could be used as a keycard, but then we would have to have sheep at every station, and we are limited to as many stations as there are colors of wool. I'm personally leaning towards using paper, but if anyone has a better idea, please let me know. Second on the list is, what does the new station even look like at the player level when we're not using the old station anymore? It turns out the station can actually get pretty small because it only needs to send players out and receive them. The player needs to be able to rename their piece of paper to the station that they need to go to. They need to be able to load. The minecart needs to be sent, and it needs to receive, sort the chest minecart, and return the piece of paper. And so this is what, I mean, this is a mock-up, but this is probably as big as a station is ever going to get. The large parts of the system are going to be out in the middle of nowhere. This is going to be like thousands of blocks out, sorting players where they need to go. But when the player's at a station, at spawn, or at an industrial district, this is what they're going to be interfacing with. And it can get pretty small, which opens up a lot of doors for the type of builds that I'm going to be able to create. Finally, am I ready to build the network? No. I still have a lot of tinkering I'd like to do with the system. The pink iteration was my first clean design, made 10 times better when compacted into the orange design. I was able to work out most of the flaws it had in the green design, but in turn it got much bigger. I'm hoping I can make a station that is nearly as compact as the orange design while keeping the reliability that I gained in the green design. I also need to make sure that the auto stations are in fact able to use the same line, because if there's something I'm overlooking, I really don't want to find out after building the whole thing in survival. Most importantly though, I'm waiting to see if anyone has any better ideas than this keycard method.
I saw one of them talk about encoded pistons, and that was it.
Do you want me to go over that? I started looking
I
at that.
did you? Oh my! I heard you talk about how monumental of a task it was not too long ago. Yeah, let me switch to my computer real quick.